So here I go. Take this pin out, it's in the way. Sink my needle. I can turn it. Okay. Cut that little excess off. Put my other needle into my shabby chic. I'm going to cut this out. I mean, I didn't need to do that, but I just did it because it would give a little bit of extra dimension to it. And I wanted that. And I sewed more on the inside of it so I could cut the white away a little bit, so when I did stitch it down, it wouldn't be so noticeable, the white underneath. Throw these garbage. Fold this back up because I don't need it right now. Okay, here's my dog bone. Move this over a little bit. I'm going to need this in a second. So here's my dog bone. Trim up in here a little bit. Actually, where are my little tiny snippers? These also secondhand, and these, and I have another tiny pair around here. I don't know why it is that the quality of stuff that they used to make, I guess because people cared more then, so much better. Because to think these scissors probably been around for like 20 years or longer, and they are still very sharp and work very nicely. So I don't know. I think old is probably a good thing, right? I'm just trimming off the excess of the white and some of my thread that's left laying around. I could, with this fusible web, I could just iron it on, but I don't know. I like sewing stuff on. That way I know it's going to stay and it's going to last for a good long while. I guess it's meant to be ironed on just to hold it in place. And then you do stitch it down, so my bad. But I'm just going to trim up a little bit here just to make it look a little bit more rugged. Okay, so I've decided that I'm going to put it like this, because when it goes like this and sits on the dog, it will fold over a little bit. You can still put things in here, like say you're carrying one of those little tiny poop bags or something, like, not the poop, the bags. Why can't Rover carry it himself? There's no reason why he can't carry it on his own. So I'm going to do it like this. Okay, so that I don't lose my placement, I'm just going to take maybe a pin that's not bent, and I'm just going to pin this corner here to hold that in place, so I know roughly where it's going to sit. Because what I'm going to do is sew the dog bone into on top of this first, and then I'm going to sew the pocket on afterwards. But I don't want it to move. I want it to still be, you know, pretty much where it's supposed to be. So now I'm going to pin my dog bone, and I'm going to stitch around my bone, and then I'm going to stitch my pocket. So move my machine back over. This is a workout. I actually had my workout this morning. My other half is going to be taking me to the gym, and we're going to work out there because there's so much more machinery than we have upstairs. We have a little home gym, but just to be able to use different types would make me very happy. Actually, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I might do the zigzag to make it even more rustic. I don't know. Let me try it. I'm going to put it right at the edge.
We don't have to kill them.
Try a different one. It didn't go that far, so I don't really need to worry about it, but yeah, I'll try this one instead. I'm gonna zigzag it in the corner, back stitch it, zigzag in the corner to give a little bit more depth. In some spots I'm going to zigzag it a little bit more, just so it has a little bit of shading or interest or something, you know? It's not just straight full on. Okay, sink my needle, and I'm going to turn this baby around. Back stitch it a little bit more. Go around my corner. Lift my needle, place it differently. Zigzag a little bit more in the corner here. One thing I don't like about this machine is that it's always I don't know how to explain it. It just, like, there's one loose part that kind of comes out, and I don't like that. But otherwise than that, I really can't make any complaints. It's a pretty good machine. And for $20, hello. You know, that made my day. Everybody is all about the cashola. I just want to have simple. I mean, it would be nice to have a little bit of extra, you know what I mean?
I screwed up. I should have told you before now. Just take this out and commanded me, please. Just don't hurt Toothless. Dragon? That's what you about. Not the people you almost killed. Just protecting me.
This actually doesn't matter because it's inside the pocket. So I'm not going to go crazy with it. I'm just going to make sure that I stitch it down.
They'll be eating themselves. There's something else on the island. It's a dragon. No, I can't.
Okay, so
Only a dragon can find the island.
I have, where's my trusty skizzers? I have successfully made a rustic. When it washes and frays, it's going to look absolutely gorgeous, darling. So now I'm going to sew the pocket on. See what I mean about, actually, I don't want a zigzag pocket. Just want to sew it straight. Okay, now I'm going to take this apart for a minute. And I'm going to show you what I mean when I say, like, it sews over thick parts. Okay, see this part here? Some sewing machines would not sew over that. But watch this sew over it. Not that I am a sewing machine expert, but just from what I know. Gonna cut off this little bit of extra because you don't want it all floating around underneath your stuff. I guess maybe I should just be throwing this thread in the garbage, but I don't know. That's what I got a vacuum cleaner for. Okay, so now we have got a little pocket that your little mister or whoever can throw their dog bone or a little toy or something that they want to carry for themselves, because you know how our kids are, right? They want to be big boys and girls. Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to do with it. I think this is cute enough, and once it frays, oh my goodness, is it ever going to be beautiful. Like once it gets washed and it frays, it's going to be gorgeous. So I'm looking forward to that. Make sure that it's going to stay. If not, then I will stitch it again. Actually, this looks a little iffy to me here. So I think what I'm going to do is just go over it with a straight stitch, just to make sure that when Pablo's wearing it, he has it for a good long while and it doesn't fall apart. Okay, so it's stitched down and the other ones look pretty good. Oh, I'm in love with this already. I wish I'd made it in Lucy's size, but it's kind of masculine, so. Okay, now shake off the little fluff balls. This is, I'm going to put it now. This is the right side and this is the inside. This looks softer, but if I left it like that, when you wash it, it would just look like crap. So I think I'm going to go with this side. It's still going to give the same amount of warmth. Like if I were making something for, say, Pablo to wear, since I'm not putting the little piece here that will open up and you can put like for their collars, the little loop for their collars. Since I'm not putting that, this is going to be something for Pablo to wear just indoors, right? So I think I would prefer just to make it so that it's pretty. if I were going to make it for outdoors, I would probably put a layer of this fusible webbing on. Just iron it on to the back and then just stitch it in, and it would give a little bit of extra warmth. There's so much you can do. Like, that's why I like to make it so that it's basic. Like, the pattern is basic, but then you put all your embellishments on it and do whatever you need to do to make it look incredible for your pup, to make it so that it's one of a kind. Oh my goodness, it's snowing like crazy. Thank goodness I'm indoors. Glasses on. Let's get to it. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, let me lower you a little bit. What I'm gonna do is pin these together.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. Because it's going to move if you don't pin them together. So you want to make sure you flatten it all out and pin it together. If there's a little bit of an overhang, then that's probably just stretch from when you cut it. Don't sweat it. It's not a huge deal. We should consider ourselves lucky that we have a sewing machine now. Whereas way back when, people used to sew everything by hand, and from what I can see, those people were real artisans. What we're doing right now is fabulous. It's great, but we're basically chopped liver. Actually, I'm going to take these pins out because I should have pinned it on the other side, because it's looking to me like this is a bit bigger, and I want to be able to see exactly where it is that I'm sewing. I don't want to go all the way around it and then come back to find that one piece hasn't been attached to another piece, because you can see what I mean. Like, this piece is a little bit wider than that. I thought I cut it exact, but there's no such thing as exact. And since I'm going to sew on the top here, what I'm going to do is pin it on the top, so as I go along I can pull my pins out. They're not going to be underneath. So here we go with the pinning. What I think I'm going to do, since I put the pocket on it, and I usually turn it inside out on this side, but since I put the pocket, it's going to be very, very difficult to get the pocket and everything through that little hole. So on this side, there's the pocket on this side, so I don't want to leave that open. So what I'm going to do is leave a little space here open, and then I can close that up afterwards. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is start on this side, because when I get around to, say, I'm going to start here, because this is where I'm going to leave open. So I want to be able just to sew all the way around, close all of this up, and then sew to here and to here. Don't leave this open, because it's going to be a pain in the butt to try to fold it under and then to stitch it. So I'm going to go from like here to here and leave that open. Should be enough to fold the pocket out. So I'm going to start around here and go all the way around, okay? And don't forget to back stitch it. Because this is what you're hoping that's going to hold it all in place. So you don't want to forget to back stitch. Sometimes it doesn't matter so much, but this is important that you back stitch. And with these little pieces hanging out, make sure you fold like this piece when you get to that, make sure you fold it over so that it lays flat. It's not all wonky. I'm going to back stitch over that just to make sure that it's secure because it's so bulky. See what I was telling you about that? I think it's just the way that I lift up on my machine that causes it to do that, but it's just, you know, it's just how it is. Rethread it and move on. I'm going to trim this off because chances are it's all, actually it's not too bad. I guess I caught it in time. Okay. So I'm going to go again and hopefully we can get through it. No, definitely we're going to get through it. Positive thinking, positive thinking. Okay, I'm going to sink my needle, turn. I think I might have sewn a little close to the edge at the top of that one there. Okay, I'm going to back stitch and I'm going to have a do-over. Take my pin out. I always sew over my pins and then I wonder why my needle breaks. Not smart. Needle, pull my pin, start it, and then I'll pull my pin out. Okay, sink it, and lift, move it around. Now we're coming to one more of those little folds, another one of these. I'm going to make sure I make it flat. I'm going to back stitch over it just to make sure it sits properly. And then the other one on the other side. Make sure it sits flat. Back stitch over, make sure it stays in where it's supposed to stay. Take my pin out. Sink my needle and turn. We're getting there, baby. Sink my needle. Last leg. Take my pin out. And make sure my other piece is flat. Back stitch. Back stitch at the very end to make sure when you're turning it that it's not gonna all unravel on you. And now we're going to trim it all up. I lost my scissors down here. Oh my goodness, I hope it's not going to be a snowstorm. It looks kind of not nice out. Actually, maybe I'll show it to you so you can see it. You see it? I don't know whether you caught it or not, but you know, whatever. It just looks terrible out. I always worry because, you know, I just, it's not like we have an all-terrain type vehicle for Aaron to get back and forth to work, but I always worry about how he is and how he's making it back and forth, and we always try to make sure we have lots of gas in there just in case something happens. He has to sit on the side of the road or something. Then that way he can listen to his radio, do his thing. That boy loves to dance. I was very surprised. Not saying anything because, you know, but I know black guys that can't dance, but usually the stereotype is that white guys can't dance. Well, my Aaron, he can cut a rug. And he dances whenever he can and cheers me up sometimes when I'm feeling blue by shaking his butt. He's very nice butt. But anyways, he does all of that to make it so that, you know, we have a fairly happy life here together. Okay, this is the outside. Oh, wait, I got more thread. I got thread. More and more. And my garbage is over here, but I keep throwing everything over here. Oh, I was not paying attention to what I was doing. These ends here, because we're going to fold them over and we want them to be a nice point, I just kind of clip them on an angle a little bit. So when you fold it over there, that extra material's not in it. And then I'm just trimming off a little bit of excess. In the corners, if you can, just give it a little snip so it's more bendable. So the fabric's not so stiff in the corners. But just like where the underarm parts are and whatever, stiff, give it a couple snips. So that way, when you go to put it on, it just bends nicely. Let's see. I'm not going to try to stretch this material out because it's the lining, but we're going to see what's going on up in here. Excuse me. But let's fold this. Oh, I'm so excited. I got to calm down because anytime I make something and I add my little creative something to it, I just kind of get so excited about it. And I think that making stuff that's usable, like not you know, silly things, but I believe in things having a purpose, you know, having a use. And this, I think, will be really cute on Pablo. And I think also that he will enjoy wearing it. Lucy wears hers every day. And now, like before, it used to be just my clothes and Aaron's clothes and the washing machine. Now Lucy's got her own load. So that's kind of nice. I'm going to fold this all out. But then I'm going to use my scissors, but I'm going to be very careful when I go to push out the ends of these. I'm going to use my scissors just to poke it out, but I'm going to be very careful. So I just put it through the hole that I left. And I'm going to poke through all of these little pieces here so that like to hold it all together you use Velcro. Now I haven't the slightest idea of what I did with my Velcro, so I'm gonna have to buy some, but I have some black somewhere in this place, and I'm gonna have to find out where it is so that I can finish this up. But if not, I'm sure I'll find somewhere. I'm sure I'll find the one that I have. I think the black would be okay on this. But I'm gonna show you where you put your Velcro after I'm done turning this out. I think I've turned out most of the sides. This one here is not completely out. But you have to be very careful not to poke a hole through it, because I've done that before, but thank goodness the opening is still there, so you can just wrap it back up. I would suggest before you stitch it closed and stitch around it that you iron it. Like, you know, give it a good ironing first, just to make sure that everything is laying flat. And then with your sewing machine, fold everything down. What I like to do to add a little bit of extra detail is to fold it in, like around the collar, fold it back a little bit. This is a better example. But see how there's that little bit of blue? I like to do it so that I stitch it down here as close to that that fold as possible, and then have that little bit of blue around their collar. And then what will happen is you'll have less, like this will be all denim and whatever, but that's cool. And then on the bum, I like to do the same thing. This is not completely folded out, but I like to do the same thing at the bum part. Just leave a little bit of blue for the detail. I mean, if you decide later that you want to add the little piece here so that the little harness will go through, you most definitely can do that. You just use your sewing machine and make a buttonhole, and that's good. That it will work just fine. Just along here. But this is it. Let me fold it over so you can have a peekaboo and see what it will look like once you, when I find my Velcro, I'll let you know. But here is where you would do it. So what you would do, keeping in mind that one side has to fold over the other. So Velcro, whichever side you decide, will go here. And then on the other one, the Velcro will sit underneath. So you'll sew your Velcro so it sits underneath, and then the other one you will sew it so it sits on top. So one goes underneath and one goes on top, and then when you're ready to dress your dog, cat, or whatever, you just go like this and fold it over, and there you have it, your closure. I'm going to pin it for right now because, as I said before, I don't know what I did with my Velcro. Oh, and as far as this is concerned, you just fold this in. I've been on here for a really long time and I don't want to take up any more of your time. So I'm just going to show you. And then you can try your own thing. But that pattern for the dog coat, I downloaded it. I don't even know where I got it because it was so long ago that I did this. So I don't even remember where it was that I got it. But I can look it up, and then I'll put that in a link or something somewhere for that dog coat because it was free online. And okay, so anyways, what you'll do is just pin your stuff, and then when you decided that how you're gonna, after you've ironed it and you're gonna sew, when you sew around, you will catch that and just keep sewing all the way around, and your dog coat will be all done. Let me just I'm just going to pin this so that you can see my pins. Crazy girl. That's what happens when you sew over a pin. And I still keep putting it back in there. Throw it out, but I don't. Okay, so this is the finished product. Well, not finished, almost finished. But I still have a little bit of time. The dog bone. And then all of this around here will all fray once you wash it. And then if Pablo decides that he wants to, let's see, put a little scarf in there, you know, something pretty. Maybe this is not a good thing, but if Pablo wants to put, oh, okay, let's try a little denim on denim. Okay, say he wants to put a little scarf in there, you know, or whatever, but this is my dog coat. And what makes it special is not the pattern, it's all up here. It's your creativity that makes it special. So go on, be creative, have a fabulous day, and remember, God loves you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, whatever you have to do to support my channel, because this is something that I'm absolutely enjoying doing and I really want to continue doing it. So like, share, and subscribe. Bye. Have a blessed day.